In the bustling city of Eldridge, where the skyline kissed the clouds and the streets pulsed with life, there was a driver named Sam. He had been behind the wheel for over 20 years, navigating the intricate web of roads and alleys like a seasoned artist painting a masterpiece. His car was an extension of himself, an old but reliable sedan that had seen better days yet still gleamed under the streetlights. Sam was known for his uncanny ability to read people. He could sense their moods by the way they entered his car, whether they were hurried and anxious or relaxed and chatty. Over the years, he had heard countless stories from passengers, tales of love and loss, dreams and disappointments, laughter and tears. Each ride was a new chapter in his life, and he cherished every moment. One rainy evening, as the city shimmered with reflections of neon lights on wet pavement, Sam picked up a passenger who seemed different from the rest. She was a young woman named Mia, her eyes clouded with worry and her hands trembling slightly as she settled into the back seat. "Where to?" Sam asked, glancing at her through the rearview mirror. "Just drive," she replied softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Sam nodded, sensing that this ride was going to be more than just a simple fare. He turned onto the main road, merging into the flow of traffic while keeping an eye on Mia through the mirror. She stared out the window, lost in thought as raindrops raced each other down the glass. After a few minutes of silence, Sam decided to break it. "You know, sometimes it helps to talk about what's bothering you," he said gently. Mia hesitated, but then took a deep breath. "I'm on my way to say goodbye," she finally admitted. "My grandmother is in hospice. I don't know if I'll make it in time." Sam felt a pang of empathy. "I'm sorry to hear that. It's never easy saying goodbye to someone you love." Mia nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "She raised me after my parents passed away. She's been my rock." As they drove through the rain-soaked streets, Sam shared stories about his own grandmother, how she had taught him to drive and instilled in him a love for storytelling. Mia listened intently, her expression shifting from sorrow to a faint smile as she recalled her own cherished memories. "Do you think she knows I'm coming?" Mia asked quietly. "I believe she does," Sam replied with conviction. "Love has a way of transcending distance and time." The city began to blur as they approached the hospice. The rain had eased into a gentle drizzle, and the world outside felt almost serene. Sam parked outside the building and turned off the engine. "Thank you for listening," Mia said, her voice steadier now. "I needed that." "Any time," Sam replied warmly. "Take your time in there." As she stepped out into the rain, Mia turned back for a moment. "You're more than just a driver," she said with gratitude in her eyes. "You're like an angel." Sam smiled softly as she disappeared inside. He sat there for a moment longer, reflecting on their conversation. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B. It was about connection, about being present for someone when they needed it most. After what felt like an eternity but was only about 20 minutes, Mia emerged from the hospice building. Her face was streaked with tears, but also illuminated by a sense of peace. She walked back to Sam's car and opened the door. "Thank you for waiting," she said with a shaky smile. "Of course," he replied. "How are you feeling?" "Better," she said softly. I told her everything I needed to say. As they drove away from the hospice, Mia spoke about her grandmother's life, the lessons she taught her, the laughter they shared, and how she would carry those memories forward. Sam listened intently, feeling honored to be part of this pivotal moment in her life. When they finally reached Mia's destination, a small apartment filled with memories, she turned to Sam once more. "I'll never forget this ride," she said sincerely. Sam nodded, his heart full. "Neither will I." As he drove away into the night, he realized that every passenger brought their own story, a tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, and that his role as a driver was not just about transportation, but about being there for others during their most vulnerable moments. And so he continued on through Eldridge's winding streets, ready for whatever story awaited him next.